The textbook outlines several things that are likely to attract your attention, and we'll focus on 4 of them. First, our attention is often snagged by things that are physically salient, things that are very loud, for example, or bright or sharp, or things that have very distinct odors, either good or bad. Second, attention is often directed towards things that are appealing or interesting to us. Third, our attention will be directed to things that have personal relevance. If you're in a crowded room where multiple conversations are happening, chances are good that you'll actually hear your name if someone says it, even if it's in another conversation taking place several feet away. For obvious reasons, this is called the cocktail party effect, but the phenomenon applies to other senses as well. In general, we focus on things that are meaningful and important to us. Fourth, and most generally, we pay attention to things that will help us meet our goals, things that we want or need to do. So if I was trying to represent all of this on my concept map, it would look a bit like this. I'm going to leave you to read more about the first 3 things on your own. In this video, I want to focus on that 4th factor, the goals. What do I mean when I talk about goals? When I talk about directing your attention in order to meet a particular goal, I mean that you purposefully attend to some things and ignore others in the service of doing what it is that you want to do, or sometimes doing what you have to do. For example, let's say I present you with this picture and I say, "Where's Waldo?" Now you have an explicit goal. You need to find the guy with the glasses and the red and white hat that looks like this. Sometimes, though, your goals will be much bigger than that. If I ask you to write a paper for this course, you'll purposefully direct your attention to some readings that you think are relevant. You'll sit down and direct your attention at your computer screen while you type up the paper, and so on. The Russian researcher Alfred Yarbus was one of the first people to demonstrate how goals guide attention. The premise of his experiment was pretty simple. People were shown the same painting. It's called An Unexpected Visitor by Russian artist Ilya Repin. And they were asked to look at it with a particular goal in mind. For example, one group was asked to work out the ages of the people in the painting. Another group was asked to establish the clothing that the people were wearing. A third group was asked to figure out what the people in the room had been doing before the arrival of the unexpected visitor. What was cool about this study was that Yarbus was one of the first researchers to use eye tracking technology, which allowed him to see what his participants were looking at when they were viewing the painting. And the results demonstrated that people's attention was in fact directed according to the goals that they'd been given. When they were asked to work out the ages of the people in the painting, their attention was directed like this. And when they were asked to take note of the people's clothing, their attention was directed like this. And finally, when they were asked to establish what the people had previously been doing, their attention was directed like this. The important thing to note from this experiment, though, is not just that we direct our attention in ways that align with our goals, but also that we miss things out there in the world when they aren't in line with our goals. So when you look at these images with the eye tracking superimposed, you get a sense of how much of that painting wasn't really attended to at all. The way we direct our attention means that what we take in will always be just a rough approximation of what's actually there. Things that are in line with our goals will be more accurately represented, and those that are not will only be represented in the most basic of terms, likely in ways that would not allow you to remember something completely accurately if you were asked. Take a look at this short PBS video that recreates the Yarbus study to see what I mean.